Wars following the same track as Marvel doing a special presentation of The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's really what this felt like. At least it feels like something like the Punisher special, the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, Werewolf by Night. Feels very much like a one-off thing, something that doesn't necessarily serve a greater purpose. But we're going to go ahead and give you our thoughts on the movie. We actually enjoyed it, so this is not a negative review. We'll give you our thoughts here in just a second. Welcome back to the Movieverse. As I'm your co-host, Benji Boothang, BMT. This is your other co-host, Kendrick, a.k.a.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lummer. We are back with another full episode, and today we're going to be talking about, like I said, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Star Wars' first movie in theaters in almost a decade.
Yeah.
I think it's been
there.
8 years.
Yeah.
Or 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
2019 was the last one. So.
Okay, so 7 years.
Yeah.
Been a long time.
It's been a while.
Did they bring the magic of Star Wars back to the movie theater? That's one thing we'll talk about. If you haven't already, please support us by liking, subscribing, and join the conversation in the comments. Yeah. Tell us what you thought about the movie. If you thought it was a 5 out of 5, tell us. If you think our opinions are stupid, tell us. If you want us to improve on anything, tell us. Right? And yeah, just keep it nice, obviously, but share your opinions. We love them.
This is the way.
This is the way. Let's go ahead and every movie review, we just talk about what we liked, what we were mixed on, what we didn't like. We then ask the big question we ask every movie episode, which is...
Does it belong in the movie multiverse or a forgotten timeline?
Exactly. Is it a movie we want to forget about?
Forget about it.
Or do we want to keep it around and watch it again in the future, right?
Yeah.
Does it serve a greater purpose or is it one-off?
Yeah.
Did I just spoil our thoughts on that? No. We'll see. Let's go ahead and start off with... Actually, I know we do this later, but let's just share our scores. Just so I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to hear our thoughts and think we're giving negative or something. But let's go ahead and give our scores. What did we give it?
I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Same here. And it was a pretty, really solid 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
There's mixed things here. It is a mixed bag, but it's better than I expected from all the negative reviews that came out from people that saw it before us. You know what I mean?
Felt similar.
So, it was a pleasant surprise, to be honest. Let's go ahead and talk about what we liked. Then we'll talk about what we're mixed on, what we didn't like. One thing that I really noticed is this movie starts off with the bang, and what that does for you as a viewer is if you're not a skeptic and you're not trying to hate this movie, the beginning really does throw you back into feeling like you're in a Star Wars movie in the theater again.
It's a really fun beginning. That's for sure.
And I felt the Star Wars magic right away.
Yeah, in the IMAX, it was fun.
It was. And the AT-AT stuff, the AT-AT, according to Kendrick. Mando's action sequences were sick.
Yep.
He had so much aura.
He did.
So, and then Grogu was
fun.
Super fun. Music was
Action
fun.
was great. Yeah, it was a really fun start, for sure.
Yes. And then I think and we'll talk about some of the stuff we're mixed on, so I'll skip that. I do think that there's action throughout the movie pretty frequently, which does help keep you interested because the action is the one thing that I would say stays consistent throughout the film in being great. There's never a sequence where you're like, oh, it's kind of dull, you know?
Yeah.
It was very good action, and that's what makes this movie fun.
Amen. Yeah, I think for me, best part of it was the action and production and how it looked and music and all that. So I think production-wise, it was pretty solid. Obviously, it got the movie budget. And so... when we get into this later, there's, I think everyone that I at least see has pretty much the same thoughts on this movie. And I can't really argue most of those, except I will argue on how it does feel more spectacle in the movie theater.
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. People are complaining saying that this feels like the show.
Yeah, it feels like another episode.
Feel like they upped it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
and I mean, on a story level, yes, but not on a production level. No, it feels like a lot more.
They upped the ante.
Yeah, I don't think in the show you'd get all this action, and
especially the beginning sequence. There's nothing in the entire show.
The show we've gotten very, some action scenes, but they're not on the level of what the movie does overall with action.
Specifically, again, the opening sequence. There is nothing they've ever done in the show that was like that.
And there was a bunch of really fun, I thought, good action. So that was fun, and that's where I disagree with a lot of people. But besides that, I think production was really its top thing. Obviously, I love the characters Mandalorian and Grogu, right? I do love season 1 and 2 of the show. So I have enjoyed watching them together. Of course, I still like watching them now. They're still fun. And their dynamic's fun. Grogu's still cute as ever, right? So, I knew all those things were going to be great, and I'm glad they remained great. Later we'll get into how that doesn't really turn into anything, but at least I know I like them and they stayed who I liked.
And there was enough of that throughout the movie that it makes it a good
makes it fun, right? Like it's at least entertaining.
I mean, this is a crazy thing about The Mandalorian and Grogu. A couple facts for you. It is the highest rated audience score for a Star Wars movie in the Disney era.
Wow.
That's insane.
More than Rogue One and all that? Wow.
Yep. It is the highest rated audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for a Star Wars movie in the Disney era. Higher than Force Awakens. Crazy.
That is crazy.
That tells you, and again, people saying that this movie does nothing, it obviously did something. It brought Star Wars back into the movie theaters, and it did it in a good way because obviously people are going, and like I said, casual fans are really enjoying this movie, at least on a consistent level. I don't think that there's casual fans saying this is the best Star Wars movie, but I think it's so consistently good at what it's trying to be, and I think it did everything that it knew fans, especially casual loving Star Wars fans, were going to want, so that everybody enjoyed their experience. I wouldn't say everybody probably walked out thinking this was a top-tier movie, but everybody just consistently enjoyed their experience for the most part from a casual fan base, and so you got this really high audience score because everybody's kind of at that like 3.5 level, but nobody's really saying that it's like in that casual viewer fan base that's like not a good movie. Yeah. If that makes sense.
That's true. I mean, it's a pretty solid like family film, you know. It's like I just
kids
think
could
you could
go,
take the
they'll
family and
enjoy
the kids and they'll have a fun time.
Parents are really going to love this movie. I saw that on Twitter. A lot of parents that took their kids, they're going to have a good time with it.
It's just fun, you know, like it's really fun. That's its best thing is that it's entertaining.
Yes.
And so if you just go into it for some good entertainment, which that's all I was expecting, then that makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
I think if you go into it for much deeper than that, good luck.
And again, if you're going into it being a skeptic, then you're going to pick it apart.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's kind of dumb because this movie does what I think it set out to do.
Yeah.
And although it's disappointing in some ways, I do think it did enough good.
Yeah. So. There's like a whole real world aspect to it, which I'll get into later, that I think is annoying about Lucasfilm and Disney and the way they did all this. But as far as the movie itself that I watched, it's really fun.
Well, you want to move into mixed?
Sure.
Okay, mixed and didn't like. I can see myself and others being mixed on the story. It's nothing deep.
No.
There's no... in fact, there's not much of a really overarching narrative or story or theme
it's
here.
It's just more adventures.
You could argue there is growth to Grogu's character. True. That's really the biggest thing. And the only thing is really that there is growth to Grogu's character in this movie. He does things we haven't seen him do. You learn a little bit of lore. You do. John Favreau, I think, is the one that said that he talked to George Lucas and he said that, one of the consistencies you can show in this movie is that Yoda's Yoda's species all build naturally, know how to build like these little huts. It's just kind of like a natural species thing. He told John Favreau that so he could include that. So that was cool to see that like this young Grogu who's probably never done that in his life. Just naturally built this
that was fun.
little Yoda hut, which we see in Return of the Jedi. Yes. So that was, or Empire Strikes Back too. So that was just really fun. I think things like that. Grogu is definitely the only one that has any sort of an arc here. But even then, like there's a moment that's really laughable in this movie where it like sad music starts playing, and I remember Kendrick and I both looking at each other and being like,
"I was like, man, about to sacrifice himself?"
I know, like there's a very out of nowhere and very noticeable tone change.
Yes, there is.
The tone change happens so drastically. Like you're sitting there and they're escaping something, and you're just like kind of like lollygagging. It's like whatever. It's like you're feeling no emotion in this at all, and all of a sudden they get to this small ship that Mando can't fit in, and sad music starts playing. Just like it was almost like a cue. Just
it was
drop it, and we both were like.
It was totally on that level of
and he starts like running back into the forest.
Dude, it's like, it was like on that Boromir level, like Lord of the Rings, where you're like, he's doing a sacrifice here. And we know he's going to die, but he's going out swinging.
But at the same time, in that, right, there's build up like in this, it just happens so randomly. So you're kind of sitting, Kendrick and I are both like,
I'm like, why is it getting so sad? What the heck?
And then, he does get like wrecked. And then, but then like Grogu saves it, there's like no emotion at all.
No,
it's like from a viewer, like again, there's just nothing good here story wise.
Like
so even in its sad moment, you don't feel anything.
Like Mando wakes up and it's kind of just like, all right, here we go, back to work.
Yes,
and I was kind of like, oh dang, I mean this dude just took care of you, but all right, back to work. Like I get it. So I mean Mando himself too. It's like it's like you're just watching him. Like I think he had way more growth in the show than he did at all in this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess for mixed, I think just anyone who is really a Star Wars fan, there's always going to be something mixed. I think Star Wars fans are always mixed on everything.
Fan base
it is. There. So it's kind of like, if you didn't like the show much or anything, then it's not your cup of, this movie for
Oh,
sure ain't your
definitely.
cup of tea.
No,
Don't watch it.
No. If you love the show, you should
just
enjoy.
have some fun, then it's fun. But if you do expect this to be a top tier Star Wars movie or something that's doing something different, nah, dude.
But hey, it got us back into theaters, and it's, you know, Starfighter is going to be just fantastic next year. So
yeah.
Didn't like what anything you want to add?
I mean, probably just the story, but I guess I don't know. It's kind of mixed. Or didn't like. I mean, I think the writing is just
poor.
Yeah, just poor. Like it just doesn't care.
I'll say didn't like. There were people that just phoned in performances here.
Like Sigourney.
Sigourney, like
Sigourney feels like she showed up for one day for the and like read all her lines.
I love Sigourney too, so it's kind of annoying. And I know that she does like Star Wars.
Yeah,
like I don't think she like purposefully was trying to do any
I don't think
to
so.
it.
It's like the way they wrote her though.
The way that she was like so dull. It was like the most dull character I've seen in a long time.
Felt like a video game. Like I agree with that. That a lot of people have said it's like, it's like a video game cut sequence where you're going up to a person to get your next mission. I'm like, that's exactly what it's like.
Also, there's a moment here after when he gets back the first time to her, and like you brought it up, it feels like a whole halt, and it's like it's so on the nose too. They're like, I'm gonna take a break, and then like the movie screen just goes black, and it's just like so, like the writing here is abysmal. I'm sorry, it's pretty bad.
It is, honestly.
So that's the other thing.
Like it literally just feels like Disney went Jon Favreau, like, bro, just I want you to make a family friendly movie that doesn't do anything with the story. Just make a fun movie. That's it. And he literally was like,
one that should be pretty harmless. Then we don't have to.
They're like, just take elements from the show and just put them in here.
Critics will probably trash on it, but like audiences just make it at least harmless, so audiences like it. Yeah,
and it's like, all right. And he was like, I will make the exact safe version of that, and boom.
Other thing I hated, I did not like visually. It's so well produced, the whole movie, but there are multiple scenes with the guy from Rebels that he looks so out of place. I'm sorry. And people aren't talking about it enough. They're like, anytime I saw him on screen with like any sort of a backdrop, I was like, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Like it looked so bad. And his VFX were atrocious.
Dude, you don't even need him in the movie.
No, again, like it's one of those that's technically supposed to be cool. Like people really wanted to see that.
He's a huge character in Rebels.
It's a really huge character.
He shows up in Mando's show, and you're like, okay, dang.
Yeah,
like,
and so you're expecting something from him.
Yeah,
he's such a side character, but in the most like side
video game way, dude.
Video game way.
He's just like your side character, computer, and PC walking around with you kind of thing.
Yeah, so like that's another thing I didn't like. I didn't like how he looked. I thought he looked really bad, and he just felt so unneeded and unnecessary to do a big character like that. It's kind of sad.
Thoughts on Jeremy Allen White's? I forget his name. Rada.
I guess it's a hot take. I liked him. I didn't have a problem with him. People are like really crapping on him. I didn't have a problem with Rada. Yeah. I don't think it's a problem to every so often do something a little quirky and fun with something that we've seen over and over and over and over again. I mean, Rada, even in the show, in my opinion, when he was a young kid, felt a little different. I don't need the Huttese language over and over and over again. Like, he's somebody that didn't really grow up much with the Hutts. He grew up out in the world and the galaxy. He doesn't need to sound like them. You know, that's my opinion. Like, if his whole life he spent with them, sure. But he's spent a lot of time in this dungeon or whatever, in this cave. Like, I just don't see there to be any... And then also, like, again, it's, you know, if we want to get so literal with it, because you guys seem to want to get so literal with the genes and everything. He's a Hutt. He's a look like a Hutt. Guy's been trapped for how long inside of a cage fighting? Like, he probably doesn't... I mean,
I didn't know that was an issue. That's not an issue with me at all.
Oh no, people have been crapping on how he looks, and people have been crapping on how he sounds.
Yeah, and I heard the sound. How he looks makes. Yeah, I mean, he's a fighter.
He's a fighter.
He looks jacked.
Why does he have to be? Why does every Hutt have to be fat? I think that's such a dumb complaint. But everybody's complaining about that.
Yeah, he was fun to see jacked, and watching him fight, I'm like, okay. I'm like, this dude's pretty jacked. All right.
And at least like our friend Kobe was at least like, I was just laughing at it the whole time, but it didn't bug me either. He's like, I didn't think it was really dorky.
That's kind of how I felt too.
But I was like, at least that I didn't even think it was dorky though. I just thought like he was like, it didn't make any sense, so it was funny. I'm like, I think it makes sense. That's the only thing. I was just like,
no, it made sense.
I think it makes sense.
And it is quirky. It is just quirky and funny at the same time.
But why is it bad to have? I don't know. It fit in with the movie.
I really didn't think much about it.
He never annoyed me.
Yeah, I didn't think twice about it really. And so that's another thing. It's kind of like,
I guess it's a hot take, but it didn't bug me.
I enjoyed all the fighting and arena stuff. I thought that was fun.
So
he's fun for his little part. You know, it's like he's obviously supposed to be kind of the the main driving force of the plot, but I feel like halfway through it's kind of like
plot doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like they just didn't care. They're just like, we'll throw some fun scenes with them, then see ya.
There was a point where I honestly didn't even know if we were gonna save him. To be honest,
I was
kind of like, I don't even know if he is gonna show up at the huts.
That's the thing, dude. The movie's literally just let's do point A to point B and then to point C and then
full of
back to point A and
yeah.
The show
full of cutscenes.
That was always the problem people had with the show too. I remember that was always the one complaint was like, it feels like we just go point A to point, but at least the show cared about the growth and giving some really emotional good arcs.
Yeah. Well, again, season 1 and season 2 are just peak.
Yeah, and this movie just said, season 3
they actually have arc. They actually have arc. Like the beginning seasons of the show had so much character development and arc. That's the thing I would argue.
No, it was sick.
It's really been a consistency problem since then.
Yeah.
Because like up to where Luke shows up, that's just peak. It's
for sure.
Peak Mando writing. Like you actually have arc here.
Yeah.
You have him taking off his helmet for the first time, right? Showing you
growth.
Like there's so much character arc and story writing. And I think we forgot. Like a lot of people say the whole Mando show is like this now, where it's not written. I'm like, I think you guys have forgotten how great the writing was initially.
There was a huge amount of
great character
writing.
There
was a ton of care put in.
And then it just season 3 it just kind of just takes this dip of like, we're just gonna do like adventures, and that's gonna be about it.
Since this was supposed to be a season 4 of this movie, it just further shows like I don't know what the crap happened.
There's no direction.
It almost feels like I almost like skeptical part of me wants to be like, is Jon Favreau pulling like a Todd Phillips like where with Joker 2 where he's like, let me just like make the whatever assignment, I'll do the assignment. I don't really care anymore, just to show like how I don't know.
It just definitely is lost direction.
I don't know how he makes such a peak like season 1 and 2, and then
in my opinion you just don't do anything else with Mando and Grogu until you gotta do a movie finishing off his character movie. With Thrawn with Ahsoka.
Yeah, bring Ahsoka with him,
with
Boba,
Luke.
All that.
There has to be a movie. Dave Filoni, there's no way he's set up all of this without finishing this off. Like there has to be a Dave Filoni movie that is set around Thrawn as the villain with Luke, Ahsoka, and Mando and Grogu. Like I think that's just and that's where you end Mando.
Yes.
And honestly, that should have been how it was after. There is nothing that has happened for Mando and Grogu since season 2,
really, that
really will impact the Thrawn movie at all. To be honest, not much, very minimal. And you could have moved into this extra Thrawn movie, probably without much.
The
Mando
Book of Boba
stuff.
Fett also did some great Mando stuff even in his show.
Yeah.
So I mean, that makes sense.
It doesn't.
Literally, the best episode of that show is Mando stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't get what happened with that show either. Which I just don't get what's happening, bro. It's all so weird.
There's
something weird's happening.
No direction.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now that Dave Filoni's taken over, and this is obviously this Mando and Grogu movie was pre-produced and stuff.
Yeah,
way long ago.
Let's just leave it here and
let's move forward.
Look forward to Starfighters, and
it does feel like they've got really good direction now.
I think they do too.
Speaking of like, there was an announcement this week that said it sounds like Starfighter is setting up the next Rey movie, and I actually like what I read about that in the article. The article actually, I haven't been excited for a Rey movie, and I'm still not excited for that director, but
I'm not at all.
I like the idea of everything that we're setting up. This, it sounds like he's like bringing a kid Jedi to her, which like that would be so sick.
That would be so cool.
If the movie ends with Ryan Gosling introducing this kid to Rey, I'll lose my mind. I think that'd be so sick.
No, yep. It's just the direction looks good.
If Starfighter's a success, I don't know how you don't bring Sean Levy back to do the Rey movie.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I think I don't care. They have such a weird director assigned to the Rey movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna hope that in this time period that we will change that director. Who knows?
Gosh,
I hope Dave Filoni just goes, I need a different director for this. Who knows? I feel like that was a Kathleen decision.
If you don't know what we're saying, there's the director that's been tied to the Rey movie.
Yeah, back when we were getting reports,
literally has not done much of anything filmmaking wise besides like documentaries and stuff.
And she's like, I want to piss off men. I'm like, all right, hold on.
Like again, I'm all for feminism and stuff, but also like this is Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars.
It's like let's make a Star Wars movie and let's like make a good Star Wars movie.
You don't have,
and also again talent. I get. She's obviously a great director with the project she's done, but she's done nothing in any way, shape, or form connected with any sort of a franchise, sci-fi, nothing. No, like it doesn't even.
You don't have the right.
This isn't a resume that is set for Star Wars.
You don't have the right to mess up this movie because you've already messed up so badly the past few years. You don't just get to put out a dud anymore. It's like this has got to be a good movie,
which is
especially
why, again,
for talking with these sequel characters.
If Sean Levy does an amazing Star Wars movie, you bring him back and do the next movie, especially
James Mangold. Like we know who to bring in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hope that this whole period of time is kind of like Marvel Phase 4 and 5, where it's kind of like, oh yeah, we're putting those projects, like Ironheart ended that, right? And you're like, all right, we're gonna leave those here, and let's just focus on like Deadpool and
them for
Doomsday and these things coming forward. That's how I feel with Star Wars. I'm like, let's leave Mando season 3 and Boba,
and
all that
and
over
4
here,
and this, yep.
I don't know, Disney. I don't know what the crap's going on, dude, but whatever.
Well, there's our thoughts on Mandalorian and Grogu. I guess, would we keep it around? We always ask, is it a movie that we'd like to keep around in the movie multiverse or in a forgotten timeline? This would be in a forgotten timeline for me.
It would.
I did enjoy it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's just nothing. Again, it is a one-off too. That doesn't help. If this movie had any, it's a 3.5 out of 5 that I had a lot of fun with. If because of that, it also had a story that paid any sort of a momentum push to Star Wars, I would say I would probably be convinced to keep it around. But because it feels so one-off, so Marvel special presentation-esque, like there's no reason to care to keep it around. There's nothing even connecting this to a future
even by the
project.
time the summer comes around here with our new movies, we're not even going to think about this movie.
No.
So
there's our thoughts on Mandalorian and Grogu. Again, please join the conversation in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. And we have posted a video on the back rooms. We'll also be posting a video on The Boys finale, so please make sure you subscribe, check those videos out, check out our shorts, and we will talk to you next week.